Hi, this is Brandon Moon with Moonlit Fly Fishing. I want to welcome you to fly tying night tonight. Tonight we're going to be tying up a great little blue wing olive emerger pattern. This is going to be an extremely effective pattern during a blue wing olive hatch. If you've got some picky fish, this pattern is going to definitely pick those fish up. This is a SLS blue wing olive emerger inspired by the SLS Emerger from Blue Ribbon Flies and Craig Matthews. um, this fly was designed to fish the waters here in the west and Yellowstone area, so make sure you add this into your box, especially if you're coming out west. So we want to invite you to also like your favorite videos. Hopefully this is one of them. Drop us a comment, say hi, ask us a question. Doing these two things really helps us out. It really tells the algorithm that we're important and that people are engaging with us and finding value in our content. So we truly appreciate that. Make sure you help us spread. Make sure you help us spread the word, please. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell to receive future notifications, and just know that we appreciate all your support. So for this fly today, we're going to be tying it on a size 18, okay, on the ML052. This is a great little dry fly hook on a standard dry fly. For our thread, we're going to be using 12/0 classic wax olive done from Semperfly. Really love this thread. So it's a single strand and is going to lay nice and flat, doesn't build up a lot of bulk. So we'll get started with that, and we'll put our hook in the vise. Okay, I'm just going to start this thread about 2/3 of the way, or about 2 hook eyes behind the eye of the hook. I'm going to take this tag end, put it at about a 45-degree angle. I'm going to use that to help create a nice, smooth, even underbody. That is the foundation to a good fly. So I'm going to wrap that back to the bend, trim it out. Now we're ready to tie in our tail. So for our tail, I'm just using some dyed done mallard flanks. They've got a nice barring to them, great for these tails. You can use the regular white ones or a green. Sorry, I got a little cough today. So you can see I'm not going to take a whole big clump. I'm just going to take a nice small clump, even those tips out, pull them off. Now I've got my tail here. I want those fibers to kind of point upwards, so they've kind of got a nice natural upward tick. I'm going to measure this out to be the length of the hook shank. I'm going to lay that on there and tie it in. Now I'm just going to secure that down. I want to trim this out to be roughly where that body is going to end, and that just, I start here because it allows me to really know my proportions on my body. I don't have to think about it as much. Now I'm going to go back to the tail where I tied it in. I'm going to lift my tail upwards just a little bit, and I'm going to put 2 wraps behind, and each time you can see I'm really kind of pulling that thread up into that underneath that tail, and that's just going to help kind of lift that tail up just a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to tie in my body material. The body material is a dark olive Hends body quill. So I'm going to take and I'm going to get a small piece of this, and we'll tie that in. Really like this Hens body quill, great material. So I kind of want a loose wrap so that I can capture that. Didn't get it quite so good. That one's okay. We'll try that one more time. There we go. It's a lot better there. Now I'm just going to wrap forward again but I want a little bit of a taper to this, so I'm going to wrap rearward one more time. I'm going to go back to almost the bend of the hook and forward, and I'll do this 3 times to create a nice small taper, stopping short and forward again. This just creates a little taper to this body. Really just adds nice looking body. I like a pulled my half hitch too far. There we go. Now I'm just going to half hitch that so I can take and wrap this body with my rotary, and I want touching wraps as I wrap this forward. This body quill just creates a nice cool little body. I've had a lot of success with this body quill on my dry flies and stuff and nymphs. So I'll just wrap that all the way up there to that point. I'm going to wrap it just usually a little bit further, and that's just easier to secure it in. So secure that down. Now we'll just trim that out. For my dubbing, I'm using Semperfly's Kapok dubbing in the olive. This is a real super fine dubbing. I don't need a lot, so I've got more than enough in that little pinch there, and I want to create a good tight dubbing noodle. I want a little bit of a little bulge in my thorax here, but I don't want to crowd that eye. So if you notice, I'm going to pull my thread somewhat rearward so that it's not wanting to creep itself forward. Okay, so you can see I've angled that so that it's not creeping its way all the way forward, and I've got that nice thorax bulge. Now this thorax ball here is going to create the thorax, right? A little bit more in that taper, but it's also going to help flare the hackle out when I put it on. So for the hackle, I've got whiting dark dun mottled Brahma. Okay, so you can see I've taken a feather, I've pulled it all back, I've got that tip section there. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut that tip section off, and that's going to give me a V in the tip of my hackle. Okay, now I'm going to take this hackle, I'm going to lay it over the top, and I'm going to kind of measure it out to where it's going to reach roughly back to the bend of my hook. I'm going to kind of pinch it in place. I'm going to run one wrap kind of loosely, another wrap loosely. That's just going to secure it. Now I just want to kind of work that hackle. Sometimes I like to just take my dubbing brush and just kind of brush it. I'm going to kind of doctor that around just a little bit. Now I'm going to cinch it tight with a wrap, pull that feather back. There's really not a hackle stem on this at this point. Okay, now I just want to take and trim out that hackle Now I'm just going to create my head on this. Taking whip finish. 1, 2, 3. Snip that out. That hackle's gonna flare out there around that. There is a blue wing olive SLS. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful evening. Make sure you hit the like and comment. Make sure you hit the subscribe and the bell to receive future notifications. We appreciate your support and look forward to seeing you next week. Have a wonderful evening.